All right, welcome back to class, you guys. Okay, so for the QuickBooks certification exam, all right, here it gives you just a little synopsis. Okay, so what's going to happen is you are going to be tested on everything and anything on QuickBooks. So you're going to have a section, 1/3 of the exam is going to be navigation, meaning being able to utilize QuickBooks, right, on its interface and be able to answer a question by navigating, meaning if it asks you to enter in a bill, how would you enter in a bill? You can either click on the home page, you can either click on the menu bar for the vendors, right? Because that's going to be where the bills are. You can go to the vendor center and be able to click new transactions and then be able to do enter bill. So that is what I mean by navigation, as in you're going to actually take your mouse and you're going to physically, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to actually physically go here and go in and be able to tap on the task that it's asking you to do. So for example, it asked me to enter bill. I can do it here. I can go up to vendors and enter a bill. Okay, I can go to the vendor center, right? And I'd be able to click on a specific client, or I can go to manage transactions and enter a bill that way. Okay, so that is the navigation portion, and it's going to be 1/3 of the exam. The other 2/3 of the exam is going to be multiple choice. Now, one of our previous students came back to us and she said she successfully passed the certification exam, and she said her exam was only 47 questions. Now, we generally say it's anywhere, but most oftentimes it should be 50 questions. All right, 1/3 is navigation, the rest is multiple choice. Now, with the multiple choices, there could be a navigation question within the multiple choice. It's going to say, in order to, enter in a bill, what steps do you need to take? And it will say, you can click enter bills on the home page. You can click enter bills on the menu bar for the vendors, right? You can have a navigation question being asked in text form. So you want to also be aware of that as well. All right. Now, 2/3 of the exam is going to be multiple choice, and it can be anything asked for anything that you have learned. So the book, for example, gives you kind of a sample question of exactly what it's expected, right? It's going to ask you those kind of similar questions. Now, what we're going to provide for you is actually Certiport, right? They're the one that you're going to be certifying for QuickBooks for. So they actually set up preparation questions for you guys to practice, so you can go ahead and practice everything, all right, testing wise. So overall, it could be anywhere from 47 questions to 50 questions, and you only have 50 minutes to complete it.
Oh, you are timed.
You are timed, correct. Correct. I believe because of the short amount of time, there is no bathroom breaks. But yes, Certiport will allow you to be able to access the practice questions for you to actually practice and time yourself. Like, how quick can you answer these questions, right? And yes, and I believe the passing rate is going to be, you have to score a 70% or higher. All right. And then here we kind of give you a rough estimate of what the test would look like. So for each section right here, QuickBooks Setup, it's roughly 6% of the exam, meaning that's roughly about 3 questions. Okay. So that's why this is Mr. Sanchez's little cheat sheet here to kind of guide you along the way of what to expect when you're dealing with these the certification exam. Now you're going to see a lot of negative questions, meaning what is not a way to do this. All right, so you definitely want to make sure that you understand and you read the question carefully. And if you average it out, yes, you only have maybe a minute or so per question. But some of these questions that you are asked, you can answer them in 30 seconds, right? So it's just really depending on it. And again, you're going to get a lot of negative questions. Now, other than that, let's go ahead and dive right in and go through each one. Now, these are not in any specific order, but I will answer the ones that we can answer that we've looked at. And then for the ones that we haven't looked at, we'll go ahead and skip it, okay? So the first one's going to be QuickBooks Setup. Since we have gone through this is chapter 12, right? The QuickBooks Setup. So a student should know, okay, number one, what information is required before they set up a QuickBooks file. So if you remember, I don't remember the page number, but if you go into your book for chapter 12, it is going to be that 12 steps before you create a company file. Okay, you want to go look at that? It's the company file checklist. There's 12 steps in it because it's chapter 12. That's how I associate it. 12 steps. So I believe that is page.
Seems like it was ages ago when we were there.
That was day 1.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that was day 2. Day 3. No. I was right. Day 2.
Okay.
So what page is that on? The 12 steps. 346. Yes. Okay. So that's going to be the 12 steps before you create a company file. And it's pretty straightforward, right? You obviously need to come up with a business plan, right? That's the very core fundamental before even starting this at all, period. You need to have a company and you need to lay out all the things that can happen in your company. What do you expect? And that's why I get for the business plan project that I had you guys do in the previous class is reflected to what you need to answer in order to create a company file. Mm-hmm. All right. So make sure that you understand those 12 steps. All right. And the next one is going to be how to start a new company data file in QuickBooks, okay? What are the 2 ways that the book teaches you to create a company file?
Express Start and Advance.
Yes, Express Start. Okay, in your book, it's not called Express. I mean, in your book, it's not called Advanced. What is it called?
Easy Step.
Easy Step is the Easy Step interview. What is the other term for this?
Detail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Detailed Start. Okay. In QuickBooks 2019, I only have regular Start and Advanced Start. So make sure that you know that you are studying for 2018.
Right.
All right. And then what is the difference between the easy step interview and the Express Start?
Well, the detailed it's just that it has a lot of details on it. The Express Start, you can go back to fill it in as you go along. Express Start is basically for people who are very experienced.
Yes. Advanced QuickBook users. Okay. Yes, it's meant for that. This one's for people who don't really know how to beginner users, right? But another thing is that it also creates a generic, all right, generic form of business. Like it asks you the question so you can formulate it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Where this one, you're going to have to actually enter in and enter data and what do you call it? Piece together the company file. All right. So this one's kind of okay. I realize I just typed that in and it's kind of vague. So I mean, when you're looking at it in real life, you already understand what Express Start does, right? If you're an advanced user, you need to if you're an advanced user, then you already know how to set up your own company. You know what you need to enter in. You know what you know what you need to have in order to complete your company file. So you're starting from scratch. All right, and you're going to be building you're going to be building the profile, building building company profile from scratch. Good. Now then the next thing you're going to do is how to keep the lists and the preferences from an old file to into
Right, how do you remove them?
yeah, how do you
How do you
remove
remove the lists and preferences?
how to keep this is how to keep
So how to keep them? Yeah, how to keep them? Yeah. How do you remove old transactions?
okay. I
How do we remove old transactions?
Okay, this one's going to be in regards to chapter 13. All right, so I'm going to note it here. This is chapter 13. We'll come back and talk about it later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you chapter 13. Look at chapter 13, page 401 to 402.
I don't remember chapter 13. Did we do?
No, we didn't do chapter 13. That's why at 401 to 402. He already has the answer book, so he knows all this. But what I'm saying is for you, we haven't learned about that yet because we haven't closed our books yet. And this is called this is the steps that you need to take to close out your books. And that's what we're going to learn in chapter 13, which is the very very last thing that we learned in this entire course. So we'll come back to that question, but Mr. Sanchez again, he gave you the page number. So, all right, next one is how to customize the home page. How do you customize the home page?
Sorry, I was reading page 401. Okay, well, you go to edit and then you select void. You know, it just seems like you just follow whatever drops down that applies, but you have to know like where to go first.
What do you mean? Are we talking about the home page?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lee.
Lee,
Yes?
there are two distinct ways. There are two distinct ways to customize a homepage.
Oh no, I was still back in page 401.
Oh, see, that's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? No, okay. Again,
Yeah, no.
we'll
It's just I don't like questions hanging over my head and not know the answer. So I started reading it. But anyway, I'll leave that alone. Okay, how to customize the homepage. There's two different ways.
two different
Okay.
ways.
Yeah. Well. Let's see. That was chapter 4, wasn't it?
This is chapter 7.
Oh, 7 or 4. Okay.
Yes, customizing.
Okay, we go to. Let's see, I don't even have the. I think from the. Oh, okay, the home page.
Yes. How do you customize that homepage? Like, how do you get all the icons to appear and how do you take them off?
Don't you just click on that?
No, you don't click on it.
visualize the
Okay, here.
screen.
Here we go. Here's the, wrong one, but here's the home page.
Okay.
How do you
Here.
customize it?
Um,
You can't click and drag. That's not going to work. How do you customize it? You can't right click.
you can't click on home page.
This is the home page.
You are creating the homepage now.
Uh-huh.
How do you customize the home page? This is chapter 7.
I know.
So we're on page 205.
Well, he's got the exact page numbers, so.
Okay, we have to go to preferences.
When how do we get to how do we get to the preferences?
Do we use the menu bar?
Okay, okay, you're getting warmer. What's on the menu bar?
We have edit,
Edit,
preferences.
preferences. Good. And how do you change that? For example, I'll show you. So right now, we have inventory, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I go ahead and go to my inventory items in inventory, and I go to my company preferences and I select that I don't use inventory. Watch my home page. See how we have purchase orders, receive inventory, and enter bill against inventory. If I were to click that I don't do inventory, let's see what happens. Okay, my home page closes and
Should take them off, right?
yep, it took off my inventory.
Okay.
So that is one way how to edit your homepage. And what's the second way?
Lee, well, that is the second way. How's the first way of customizing the homepage? What do you do first when you start QuickBooks? I come to you with my company. I say, here, establish QuickBooks for me. What's the first thing you're going to do?
The very
You're going to
first
set it up,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
You're going to set it up.
You have to install the software.
Okay.
Set up
Right.
the company.
And by doing that setup, what are you doing?
How do you set up a company file?
Well, you have to go to what we just talked about.
Right. So what are the options that you have here?
The detail start or the express start.
Okay, but what do we know about the express start?
Okay, that's for advanced users.
Right. So when we actually do that, we did do an example of here. All we had to do was enter in the company file, and then what do you have to do after that? You're gonna have to put everything in manually, right?
Right.
So this one is out of the question.
Mm-hmm.
What about the second one?
So we're gonna do the easy step.
The easy step interview, correct.
And the second part of an easy step interview says that you're now going to do what? You're going to customize the homepage.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, that's part of the setup. Yeah. Okay.
That's the first way. And then once you have the company set up, the second way to better modify, to better detail your homepage, you go to the preferences. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are two ways.
Okay, we talked about the edit and then two preferences.
Yes.
The other one is detail start.
Correct. Or the
first one is your detail start. You can't go to preferences until you set up the company. And if you use the easy step, you don't skip the company until you till you've answered the questions to customize the home page.
So once you've completed the detailed start, the home page should
That's
show the information that you've entered in the.
exactly,
Yes, correct.
exactly.
Okay.
Now, if you want to give more detail, if you want to be more specific, yes, you go to preferences.
Okay, I get you.
All right.
Mhm.
So there are two ways to customize the home page. Now, again, if you do the express start, then option number one is eliminated already because you would have to you have to customize your own
True.
home page by actually going to edit preferences. So I'm sorry, Mr. Sanchez, I don't mean to correct you, but it's not
Nope.
one step after another. It's if depending on which one you use, you can customize it through the detail setup. But if not, then you can do it through edit preferences, depending on when you set up your company. If you're doing either or, detailed start or you're doing express start, your only options is to do edit preferences. You don't have to do the detailed start
So, so you
first.
don't have to, but there are two ways. The
Yes.
first way, yeah, you have to go through the detail. You have to go through the easy step. That's the first way.
Yeah.
If you want to
And
use that,
then
you have to go through that.
right, and then down
But
the
if you
road
go
when
through
you
the
need to
advanced,
modify,
Uh-huh.
you go to edit preferences.
exactly.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
If you use the advanced, then yeah, you bypass that method, and then you have no choice but your only choice left is preferences.
Yep.
So
Right.
yeah, it's like
Okay.
Linda says, all depends what you use. But as far as the book's concerned, as far as your certification exam is concerned, the two
Mhm.
ways are the interview, the easy step interview,
Mhm.
and then once you get that in, the preferences. Because you can't go back to the interview and change things. So if you want
Mhm.
anything changed, you want anything to be more specific, you gotta go through the preferences.
Okay.
All right, now the second one is how to set up lists, whether it's a customers, vendors, or your items, etc. Okay, and these can include understanding which names and items should be appearing on which list. Okay, so how do you set up those? How do you set up those things?
Well, customers and vendors are similar.
Yep,
You go to the customers center
yep,
through the menu or the icon bar or the homepage. There's
good.
three different um, entries, I guess, and
All right.
entering to there. So customer and vendor center. Um, the items I'm a little fuzzy on, but I think it would be similar also, right?
Creating an item, yes, is similar, but how to get there? So let's explore that. Okay, so here we're on the home page, right? How do you
Mhm.
create how do you create an item?
Okay, I think you go to list,
List, good.
okay, and then item list.
Item list.
Okay, where are we? Okay, well, there's your list.
Yep. Now let's say this list was empty. How do you enter in or create items?
um, where your cursor is.
Yep, items and then
Okay,
new.
then there's a new, uh, yeah,
New
new.
option. Yeah. So good. So when we're looking at entering lists, right? To set
Mhm.
that up, you just enter in list
And then
and go to
item.
items list. Yes.
Mhm.
All right. Now there is another way I didn't teach you, and it's by actually importing things from previous either previous files, or if you are creating your company for a new and you have an Excel sheet with all of those items names and lists, you can actually you can import them or you can
So
copy and paste
import
them.
from another program.
Yes, import from another program, and you can actually copy and paste it. So if you have your Excel lined up exactly, you could just copy it and you could just paste it right into the list. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to write import lists from other programs. Okay? All right, what? Okay, that's it for that section. All right. QuickBooks utilities and general product knowledge. Okay, so remember we talked about this. You're going to need to know a lot of details in regards to what QuickBooks can offer for you. All right, so students should know one, how to navigate or move around QuickBooks using the home page, the menus, and the icon bar. So, can you tell me what are the 3 ways that you can enter in a transaction? It's kind of listed there already.
Yeah, it's right there. Homepage, menu, bar, and the icon bar.
Yes. Right? That's how you navigate, right? You navigate QuickBooks through using the menu, here's the list. The icon
Yeah.
bar. This is up here is the menu bar, right? This has every single transaction visibly for you. Already select, all you have to do is select it. And then lastly, the home page. The home page is going to give you icons that you can go ahead and enter in your transactions. All right, good. Next question is going to ask you is how to back up and restore a data file. Okay. This one, yes, we for surely taught. This is chapter
Well,
1.
there are, let's see, the portable. Oh, no, you don't want that. That's just to move the files. There's a backup file.
How do you create a company backup?
See, there's like 3 different files. There's the worksheet,
The
uh,
workbook.
yeah, the workbook. There's the portable files, and then there's the backup files.
Correct.
So, don't you go to like file?
Correct. File.
Okay, and then it should show backup somewhere. Update, no. Backup company. No?
Good. Backup company is one of them. Yes.
Okay, then over there is restore previous local backup. Open or restore company. That's it.
There we go. Good job. And if you need to know the details, like I showed you earlier, right? The first thing it's going to ask you, well, what do you want to open up? You want to open up a workbook, a portable file, a backup, or a portable file? And in this case, I chose a portable file because that's what the Slater, right? They provided portable files, which is Academy of Photography. So I selected portable file, and then it's going to ask me, well, where am I going to locate this portable file? I find where it is, and then it's going to ask me, well, where do I want to save or open up this workbook to? And that's where I need to find a location to save my workbook. And then from there, when it starts converting, it's expanding the file from a portable into a proper workbook. So yes, and I just showed you how to do that. You guys know how to do it. It's on the main screen when you first open QuickBooks. It's going to ask you, what do you want to do with QuickBooks? So how to do a backup, file,
Then restore and or backup or restore. Open back. Yeah. That.
that's one. And then the other one is file, backup, company file. Right? Okay, so good. All right, how to determine the release number and how to update QuickBooks. how do you determine the release number? What is the release number? Let's establish that first.
Shoot. It's like on the edge of my brain, but it won't focus.
There is a magic key.
Release number.
This is going to be chapter 1.
Page 2.
Page 2, all the way back there.
Chapter 1, page 2, yeah.
Oh, okay, when it was released.
Uh-huh.
Accountant 2018 release 4P. So it's product information window showing the version and release date.
And what key do you need to press? It should be in the box. It should be in a box.
Control 1 or F2.
F2. F2. Boom. Here, if you look on my screen, Lee, it tells me when I actually installed QuickBooks. And in this case, I installed QuickBooks on September 19, 2019. Wow.
So
Wow,
is that what
9.
it's referring to when you installed it or when it was?
This is when I actually installed the program. At the
That's not the. Okay, go ahead.
And then at the very top gives me a description of what my program is, right? What model, or not model, what edition. So it says right here, I have QuickBooks Pro 2019. It also gives me a list of, so here it also gives me a list of releases. Now, what is a release? Your release number is going to be how many versions or updates that this QuickBooks has encountered or has updated to. And that information, right? It's kind of crucial, kind of not, because it's just saying like, so with every program that is released, right? You're always going to find some kind of bug or something that's not working. And what happens is QuickBooks decides to, they try to modify it by creating a release. So every time you update your QuickBooks, it will update the release as well. So it will tell you how many numbers of releases you have. So yes, and then it will also tell you how it pretty much updates QuickBooks to the most latest versions that have less and less bugs available to it. And in this case,
So it's like maintenance related, right?
yes.
Okay. So how many times has it?
Been updated.
Right. Okay.
Yes, that's what a release number is. And then
What does the P stand for?
say that again.
What does the P stand for? I mean, the R I can guess it's release, like R4P, release 4 times P. What's P? What does the P stand for?
I'm trying to find where you're looking at.
Okay, well, the release, right? It says R4P or R, okay, on your screen, R1P. Okay, release, one release. What does that P stand for? I'm just trying to associate so I can remember.
I have no idea what that P stands for.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nowhere is it explained what the P stands for.
But
okay.
this one
So choose it.
on my computer for 2019, I never update my QuickBooks, right? Every time I open up my program, the first thing it asks me is, would you like to update your QuickBooks? I always say update later. And it's been a whole year now, and I still haven't updated it. So I'm still on the very first release.
I see. Okay.
But yes, the more that you do update your QuickBooks, the more it's going to fix all the bugs and other things to make QuickBooks function a lot quicker and a lot better for you. Now, because for the sake of my class, for this class, right, I'm not doing my own books. I'm just rinse and repeating the lesson in the book over and over and over again. Do I find the need to have to update my QuickBooks? And in my case, no, because I'm not using it for my personal business. I'm only using it to teach the same concepts over and over and over and over again. So, so for my instance, I don't need a release. I don't need to update my thing. But yes, this is going to be your release number up here at the top.
Okay. Well, maybe the P stands for product. This is your software, QuickBooks software after the product is released for sale. Product or program.
Whatever you want to make your mnemonic device for, it is.
I'm trying to find a way to remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Not important.
Not important. Thank you.
No.
But the most important thing that you need to know is what key did you have to press in order to find out what this where this number was?
F2.
F2. Yes. Right. All right. Now the next question is how to use QuickBooks in single user and multi-user mode.
Okay, well, isn't there like a password? Wait a minute. You're back to that.
Oh, did you want me to go back to the question?
No.
Okay, so back to QuickBooks.
Single user and multi-user. Let's see.
So right now, I'll let you know, I'll give you a hint. I am currently using single user mode.
Okay.
Right? That's in, I am the only user that is accessing this current file as of right now.
Okay.
All right? Multi-users is allowing you to access this same exact file but having more than one user access it at one time.
Right.
All right, so I'm not quite sure if I remember teaching you this, but this is part of chapter 1. If you go to file, you can go ahead and switch to multi-users. Okay, so that means
File. Okay.
it's under file. And what it does is essentially it just allows multiple people to work on the same exact file at the same time simultaneously.
Right. Okay.
That's about it. All right. So there you go. File. Switch. Switch to multi-user. Right. Is that you?
It's not me.
He's asking.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
No, I was getting a phone call.
All right. Okay, now the next question is what editions of QuickBooks are available and how to find out which one they are.
Weren't we just there with the F2?
Correct. That is where you can do it. F2 under the product. What is it? Product.
It's like a product profile.
Product profile. Good. Yes. Okay. Now the question is, what products of QuickBooks are available, and how to determine it. So here, using F2 is what you can determine that you're currently using. Now, how do you actually get to see what products are available?
What what QuickBooks have available?
Correct. What kind of products do they have available?
We go to their website.
That's one way, but we're asking about this in QuickBooks. So yes, you can go to intuit.com or quickbooks.com. They lead you the same way.
Oh yeah. Don't they usually have like a store or something? I
Correct.
see that on other. Okay. So where's their store?
If
Oh,
you go to
under
help,
help.
yes.
Okay.
What can you find under here?
Let's see. Add QuickBooks services if you're looking for services.
Not no. Okay, keep going.
Upgrade to latest QuickBooks.
You can do that. That's one way.
Privacy, desert usage, and well, it's got add QuickBooks services or upgrade to latest QuickBooks.
Good.
I guess it just depends on what you're looking for because there's different App Center. Yeah, find more business solutions. So that's got to have more products, right?
So here it's kind of vague, so you can actually go into either. So one way is to either go upgrade to QuickBooks. You can either upgrade to QuickBooks Premier, right? That's another one. You can even, if you want to know about the product, you can look up here about QuickBooks Desktop Pro 2019 to just give you what is this about. So in this one, yes, you're able to be able to click these to show you the availabilities. Now, if I were to go buy QuickBooks Desktop Premier, right? If I were to click that, it will take me to there, and then latest QuickBooks would be yes, which is to update it.
Right. So it just depends on what you're looking for.
Yes, but in the general location that it's trying to ask you is, well, how do you update it? How do you upgrade it? How do you find out what the latest product is? And yes, intuit.com is one of them, but the second one is help.
Okay.
All right. So either quickbooks.com or you got help on the menu bar. All right, good. All right, next question is how to password protect QuickBooks. How do you do that? Do you remember that?
What's it called? I know when you first opened up, they have. Well, I guess you can go to File, right?
Not file.
No.
Not file.
Okay. Company.
Company. What's under company?
Set up users and passwords.
Set up users and passwords. Yes. Yes. So this is again when we're opening our company file, right? Usually it will give you 3 options, right? In the very beginning, the initial setup, it's going to ask you to password protect this file and set up either an admin or a user. Well, obviously, if you're creating the actual file, you're the admin as is, right? You're automatically there. Now, once you've closed your account and you didn't set up a password and you open up QuickBooks again, the very first thing it says, you need to password protect this file. And then when you do that, great. But then if you're going to manually do it and try to fix it as you're building your profile, this is where you go. You go up to your setup users and passwords. All right, there you go.
Company from the menu bar.
Company from the menu bar or initial setup is when you can actually do it. So, company menu bar. set up users and passwords. And then lastly, the easy step interview. Okay. Last question here is how and why to use preferences.
Okay, well, can we go to that? Is it preferences to find more detailed? Yeah, like at the very bottom, it'll give you more detailed options.
Okay, yes and no. Well, first, let's take away the book, okay? Let's take away. And I'm going to ask you a personal question. Why would you need to use preferences? Why do you need to set up preferences?
I don't understand.
Well, just in general, why would you need to set up QuickBooks the way you need to set it up? Why do you need to have preferences?
To customize it.
To customize it to. Why are you? What's the purpose of you customizing?
It is part of the to set it up.
Okay. There are two different ways you can do preferences, right? You have a company setup and a user setup. What is the purpose of using the user setup?
Well, to make it the way the user wants to. I don't know how to say what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I mean, it's just to have it customized to the way to whatever the user is using it for.
Okay, precisely. That's precisely an accurate way of saying that, right? It's what you want to see on your end, right? It's what you want to customize it to make your transaction easier, right? If your job is if your job is just only inventory manager, do you need to have your inventory? Do you need to see your employees, and do you need to see what's going on in sales?
No.
No, all you need is to make sure that you set up your inventory, right? Just the way it is. Mm-hmm. Second thing is, do you like the color scheme that they give you? To me, I think it's too dull. So I'm going to change preferences so that it appears, it appeals to my liking, right? Yeah. I can care less about this blue, but I can change it to green. I can change it to red. I can change it to purple, right? I can make it to the color that I want it. And also that, on top of that, I can make it so that, let's say if I am just inventory manager, right? I can make it so that all the transactions that I want to see under my favorites is only in regards to just inventory, right? Or the ones that I commonly use, I'm going to have it that way. Same thing with setting my icon bar. If I'm in the business of inventory, I need a calculator. I need a calendar so I can mark when I receive my items and when I need to ship out my items. Okay? So customizing using preferences especially for the user is to build it so then it's for your liking, but also to make it easier for you to do your job. All right? Now, what is the purpose of using company preferences?
That's to have it customized to the way the company needs to look at the transactions or whatever it is.
Right, right.
Make it easier for the company, not
May
just yourself, but for the whole company.
correct, right? Something that you can apply for everyone to for all users to see, but also for the company. If the company is going to be using this, then apply it to all the company. Another thing is like, what if I say my company is red, white, and blue? So therefore, I want my QuickBooks to reflect that. I want all my statements and sheets to reflect red, white, and blue because that's my company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that is what company preferences does. Same thing, yeah. All right. Now, let me see if we're good on time. See if we need a break. Okay, so right now it is 2:30. Okay, no, we could go on till 3. Okay, so next is going to be list management. All right, 6% of the grade, so approximately 3 questions. So a student should know. All right, this is list management. 1, how to manage lists. Okay, whether you're dealing with your customers, vendors, items, etc. Okay, so this includes how to add new entries. Right? So we looked upon that. It's easy, right? You just go down to the bottom
Mm-hmm.
and click new. You can right
Right.
click anywhere on the screen and click new. Okay. For customers, you have to actually go to new customers. You have to go to new customer/jobs. For vendors, you need to go to new vendors. For employees, new employees. Okay, straightforward. Deleting entries. Now, you can delete a vendor, you can delete a customer, you can delete a lot of things. But what do they highly recommend you to do in case you shouldn't delete these transactions?
What is the question? What do they recommend you do not delete?
Yeah. They if you have a transaction that's valid right now, as if like I had, for example, Bob Mason.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Bob Mason isn't our customer anymore. Can you delete him?
Yeah, you can.
You can, but what does QuickBooks say? Does QuickBooks recommend that?
No, I think they do something like hide or
Hide, okay, that's close. What's the term?
yeah, I'm thinking. I know it's not the right terminology, but it's not hide, but it's there, but he's not on the list. So, what's the terminology for that? I can't think of it.
It starts with the letter I.
I?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm really way off of my thinking then.
Let's see if I can pull up an example.
Customers.
So go to my customers, and if I were to right click them, is it there?
Items.
No, it's not. But let's see what happens if I edit my customer. Right? What can I choose to do here? Wait. Okay.
Oh, inactive. Okay,
Inactive. Yes, you can.
inactivate him.
Yes. Especially with items, right? Because the reason why they recommend you to do that, because if you delete them, that means any transaction that you had with him prior in the past years will all be affected. It's a chain reaction. You get rid of him, all of your income expenses, all of your income and expenses, all of those will be affected because ultimately you're getting rid of a customer that holds a lot of information. So in this case, QuickBooks recommends you not to delete it. They recommend you to just to inactivate them. That's it.
Okay,
Okay.
so when you inactivate them, their transactions are still accounted for but they're not on the list.
Yeah, like you said, they appear hidden. Okay. Another thing is okay, so when you're deleting an item, okay, you can delete accounts under what circumstance?
Accounts under what circumstance?
Mm-hmm. What validates that you can delete an account? You can only delete an account if da 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 da.
Well, if it's if I mean it's so broad because I'm thinking of different accounts. So like if
Let's say I'm building my chart of accounts.
mhm.
So I'm gonna go to my chart of accounts.
So if it's no longer used,
Okay.
not used,
If it's okay, so what is it? Not used or no longer used?
no longer used.
Okay, no longer used is actually you have to inactivate that account. All right.
Okay, so if it's never used,
If it's never used, if it's never been touched with, never used at all in any of your transactions, that gives you the validation to be able to delete. Yes, delete if account has never been used. Yes, and if it has, again, by you deleting an account that has been used, you're ultimately going to create a chain reaction. And for every transaction that occurred with that account, it's going to throw everything off.
right? I remember reading that somewhere.
Yes, it's chapter 12. It's chapter 12. When we learn to build our chart of accounts for the first time.
Okay.
Okay, good. All right. So, what about editing accounts or editing items in general? This one's straightforward.
Well, yeah, you just go to edit.
Yep, you just edit. No, not edit. All right. So, for example, I'm here in my accounts. You could just right click and edit.
Right click.
Yes. All right. So this one you can edit at any given time. There's no when you have to do it. It's any time. All right. What about merging cells? Merging cells. I'm talking about Excel now. I meant what about merging accounts?
I don't remember talking about that.
We did do an example.
Did?
Yes, I did. I did an example where I created a brand new account called Entertainment just to find out that I had a similar account called Entertainment and Meals. So what I did was I merged them two together and now it's under one account under Entertainment and Meals.
So you go to one of them.
You go to one of them, good. Good.
And let's see.
Hold on, this is my chart of accounts. I can't do it now because all of these are preset. But what do I do?
Right.
Which one am I gonna click?
You right click.
Okay.
Okay, then it says notes. Edit account.
You're gonna edit the account, okay?
That doesn't look right.
You're halfway there.
I am? Okay.
Yes, you are. You just need to know which account you're going to be selecting to edit, and what piece of information are you editing?
A sub account of.
Not sub account of. All right, I'm going to give you a really big hint.
All right, please.
Okay. Let's say I have two of the similar accounts, right? Okay, again, imagine this. I have entertainment and I have another account for entertainment and meals. I'm going to go ahead and select the entertainment just by itself, and I'm going to edit that account. Now, what piece of information am I going to edit the account with? How am I going to make it look like the one I want to merge?
What do we have to do to make it look like the one we want to merge it with?
Yeah, yes. I pretty much gave you the answer, but come on.
I mean, you gotta write in the same name, right?
The same name and the same account number if you have account numbers. You need to make sure that it looks identical. And once you do that, you press OK, and it's going to say, uh-oh, you have the same exact account with the same exact name. Would you like to merge this account? And you're going to say, yes. So the key getaway here is you're going to select, right? You're going to select the one that you do not want or you want to merge with, right? So you want to select the account that you no longer want. Okay? You're going to edit the account and you're going to edit the name to match the exact title, okay, of the one, yes, of the one you want to keep. Okay?
Then the dialogue will finish it out.
Yep. Then open dialogue. Dialogue window says, would you like to merge? And you click yes. Ooh, whoa. Would you like to merge? Oh, wow. Would you like to merge? And you say yes. All right. Good. All right. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. All right. Don't think too hard. All right. So we got 10 more minutes and now we'll go on a break. So here we're going to be looking at items, which is going to be 8% of your exam. So approximately 4 questions. So a student should know 1, how QuickBooks uses items to perform the necessary accounting. What does that say? Accounting behind the scenes. So how does it use items? What's the purpose of an item?
So QuickBooks know how to, where to post the transactions to.
Exactly, right? Uses items to associate oh my gosh, I can't explain it. To associate where to set to categorize the transaction. Good. Right? Good. So the next question is, what is the different types of items and when to use each type? let's go to, where do you find your items?
I want to say list.
List.
Item list.
Item list. Okay.
Okay, now what are we doing?
We're looking at what are the different types of item types.
Okay, so the item at the bottom.
Okay.
And
So this is what we're talking about. What is this list here?
okay, the different
The different.
transactions. Yeah,
Okay, but these are very specific.
yeah, different services.
Different services, different items that you sell, so inventory, different non-inventory items. You have different subtotals, you have different groups, you have discounts, you have payments, you got sales tax payable. I'm sorry, sales tax item, and you also have a sales tax group. And you also have other charges. So what does this list of items do?
Well, it's all about the money. I mean, you know, what amount goes into what account?
Yes. Okay, good. Right? So what the purpose of items does is it breaks down a transaction into further detail, right? So the purpose that they use items for is so it doesn't clutter the chart of accounts. What it does is it essentially helps the account out by creating an item, right? And associating whether it's an inventory account, a sales account, XYZ. You get the point, right? It breaks down the main account. Now it's not a sub account, so don't confuse that. But an item, what it does, it just splits the account into more specific and more detailed.
Okay.
All right, and here the question is asking us know the difference between each different type of item type. All right, so know what's the difference between a service, what's the difference between an inventory part, what's the difference between an other charge. Why do we use those? Why do we separate our transactions based on those? Okay, and all of these answers are going to be in your book. I believe it's page 7. Creating items. I mean chapter 7. Customizing your items. Let me see if it is chapter 7. Go back out. So here we're going to be looking.
Customizing is, I think, is chapter 7.
Yep, customizing is no. I meant I don't know what specific page it's on. QuickBooks Book 2000. Oh, why? These are all chapters. Oh, I think I'm in the Google
Chapter
class.
7 has the QuickBooks items and other lists.
Good. Go through the items and then you're going to see a list of all of those item types.
Okay.
So chapter 7. Chapter 7. All right. And it is going to be
Page 211.
211.
Mm-hmm.
211. Oh, perfect. I'm here. So here, 211 QuickBooks items, right? So down here gives you a whole details on each item right here. So right here, page Page 212, all right, 212 all the way to 213, right? There's a few on here. It gives you an explanation of what each item entails and how to use them. So, for example, you're going to charge sales tax? Well, great. You can go ahead and create an item for it called sale, and you would associate it with a sales tax item. Okay? If you're doing other charges such as late fees and stuff, that's going to be considered an other charge.
Okay.
All right? If you're selling a specific inventory item, which we'll talk about in chapter 8, which is going to be what we're going to learn on Monday, we're going to look at the difference between an inventory part and a non-inventory part.
Okay.
Okay? So, what the purpose of the use for items is to separate and to expand an account without cluttering the chart of accounts. Okay? So, good. So, all of that's going to be on page 212. All right? Understanding the different types and when to use them. All right? Next one is going to be how to use items to differentiate types of scenarios. Wait, I don't get that question. These include companies that sell products for a specific price.
How to use items for different types of scenarios.
So, for example, using the for example, products for a specified price. All right. The next one is deleting entries. Okay, that's random. Services or for a specific price. Okay. Next one is unique products or services that have different prices for each sale. And then lastly, one service or product. Okay, so this is us. These are just examples on how to apply the different types of items and how they apply by these kind of different types of scenarios. So, for example, selling a product for a specific price, you're going to be using the inventory item part. Deleting entries, I don't know about that one. But services for a specific price, obviously that's going to be services, right? And if you sell both, right, unique products or for a service that have different prices for each, right? Again, just because you create an item, an inventory item, you can toggle the different price ranges at any given time as long as you adjust it on the sales receipt, the invoice, whatever it is. The sales price is not always permanent. Okay? And then one service or product, same thing. So here. Okay. It is 3 o'clock, so I'm going to stop here and then we'll continue with our sales process after this, okay?
Okay. What time do you want me to be back?